everyone, welcome to another video, and today I have Agotapop's new autumn tinies to show you, and I will pick one to colour. Just to quickly say that I have a 10% discount code on all items from her shop. This is Etsy, and if you look in the description of the video and follow my link in there, you will get the 10% discount. So let's make a start. We'll come in closely and have a look at each design. Now there are 4 pages of pictures on this particular set of autumn tinies, and on each page you get 6, and you can choose from a light grey or a dark black print. So if you want to try and hide your lines, which some people do on their colouring, you can use the grey ones, otherwise the darker ones. I've printed these as darker, partly I think because it's easier for you to see. Okay, so this is our first one. I haven't got them in a particular order, so they may not be in the order that you would see them on the Etsy shop. So we have a selection of leaves, so obviously you can colour these in autumnal colours, or you can just do them in greens, or even, you know, any colour really. We have a very pretty flower. I'm thinking probably a sunflower, but really, again, it's completely up to you. Down we go. This one is very cute, I think. I do like colouring a kettle. It's nice, and we've got some berries there, which, you know, if you know me, you know that I really enjoy colouring berries. And we have a cup with a tea bag, which is rather sweet, but also all sorts of florals in there. So this one is rather more something I would associate with autumn. So we've got our chestnuts, and then we just have some very pretty mushrooms, which is rather nice. Okay, that's the end of that page. I'm going to remove that one. We're going to start at the bottom of this page. So we have an envelope stuffed with leaves. We've got part of a seal on there as well. I think that's rather cute. And then we have another floral one. I rather like this mix of leaves and florals. And a nice pile of books, grapes and an apple, so that's rather nice. I like colouring fruit, so I like this one. And on this one we carry on our sort of fruity theme with these preserves. I think these look like apricots or peaches there, sort of cut in half. Not sure what these are. I mean, you can obviously do whatever you wish really. And then we have a sort of, you know, pumpkins, squashes, that sort of thing. I mean, you can colour them in your oranges or greens, or maybe the sort of squash, butternut squash type colour, you know, more of a peachy tone. And here we have, I am assuming this is a pumpkin pie, which I've never had and probably never will, because I don't eat sugar, so I know they're very sweet. But I do love squash, but I don't generally eat pumpkin, just because when we get them here in the UK, they're usually carving pumpkins rather than eating pumpkins. So I tend to buy squashes like this one instead, and very nice, but I have it as a savoury dish. This one is fun. So we've got a pair of Wellington boots and a brolly. Of course, it's always very wet, as it has been through the summer, to be honest. And this one here is a little more detailed. I rather like having a mix of some with a little bit more detail. There aren't many, because this is quite small. You can see from my finger how small it is, but there aren't many that are this small. But we've got this whole little world going on inside this pear, which is a very good idea. And I like these little mushrooms again. Now this one is very autumnal. Acorns always associated with autumn. So I've got I've coloured quite a lot of acorns over the years, and more mushrooms. I think people really do enjoy colouring mushrooms. I know I do anyway. And I think Agata has a mushroom set of tinies, so if you really like mushrooms, you could go and see those. And we have a sort of plant house. Again, she also has one with plant houses as well. So, you know, there's a sort of, if you want something very specific, you may find that she has something with exactly what you're looking for. So it's worth having a little look through her Etsy and seeing what she's got. This is just a large leaf, but I think, you know, it can be fun putting in the different colours, because a lot of autumn leaves aren't just one colour. You might have reds and yellows and greens, all sorts of colours, so that could be quite interesting one to do. I have another floral one here, and then I rather like this one. It's a bit different, a jumper or sweater, depending on where you're from, with you know, you can colour this, it looks like an oak leaf in a sort of autumnal shades, you know, browns, oranges, reds, and or you could do the sweater in those colours and do a green leaf. Yeah, it's up to you. Now we have a sort of harvest. So again we have what looks like, I think actually that might be a marrow. It could be a pumpkin, or I was going to say pepper, but a pepper wouldn't have 5 sections, it would have 3 or 4. Got a chilli, that's quite big, isn't it? A tomatoes. So that's nice. And these stalks as well. This one is very cute, very, very cute. So we have our scarecrow, but look in the pocket, we have a little corn on the cob, or sweet corn. This one is a really original idea. So we have our scarf, and there's a whole sort of scene on there. I think that I've never seen anything like that before, so I think that is a very interesting one. And this one we have, I'm thinking turnip? Yeah. And so we have a little ladder going down underground inside into the turnip, and then we have, it's a house inside, and we have some sort of leaves which you could do in more autumnal colours. So that one is it's really interesting. Now I've decided which one I am going to colour while I was showing you, and I'm going to do this flower. And the reason for that is because I'm going to come in a little closer, because I'm not quite in the mood for autumnal colours quite yet. For me, and it's still August when I'm recording this. It will be yeah, it'll be still August when the video comes out, I think. So I'm not quite ready. So I'm going to do the centre first, and I'm going to start with a cadmium yellow lemon. These are the Faber Castell Polychromos. I just grabbed those for today because I've got this cardstock that I've printed on. It's nothing special. I just chose to print on the sort of Ryman's paper that I happen to have in the drawer. I noticed we've got a lot of it, so and no one uses it, so I thought I would use it. And I know that these pencils will work on this, so I'm just doing a layer over first. Now I always think this pencil barrel looks quite green compared to some of the yellows, but I feel that it's not really green, but we're going to add a bit of green to it. So that's a really quick layer. It's very rough, that's okay. And I'm going to grab this grass green, can you see that? Maybe there, and put some around the edge. So because we've already got a bit of yellow under there, it's going to be quite pale, but that is absolutely fine. And I'm just putting a layer all around first, and then I'm going to come back and tidy it up and sort of fade it in a little bit towards the middle. Now I realise we've got these loops and things drawn, these sort of U shapes, which I think are supposed to indicate texture of sort of seeds and things like that. At the moment I'm ignoring that. Now I don't know how many layers I'm going to get on this paper, but I think it'll be okay. It feels like it's going to be quite kind to me. And I'm just going to go back around on the edge and just do a slightly faded layer around here. Now I'm not making this, I'm not trying to make this look like a specific flower. I'm just playing around with it. This is the light green. Is that better? And I'm just going to sort of go over that last little bit that I did, and then bring that colour in a little more towards the middle. The idea is to try and make it a bit paler in the middle. And then I'm going to go back to this one again, this cadmium yellow lemon. I'm just going to go right over everything. I want it to be darker around the edge, so I'm going to layer it up more. You can see I'm going over and over. and then we'll do a little bit less as we come in towards the middle. Oh, I need to tell you to sign up to my newsletter. Well, you don't have to, but I will demand it. No, if you want to. I only send them out usually once a month, never more than twice a month. And I've got some news to share with you. I will be sharing it on my other platforms as well, but it will probably come out first in the newsletter, I think. It's basically, without giving away too much, my sort of plans for September, really. I try to do that in my newsletter anyway, but it's a little bit different to normal. So if you subscribe to the newsletter, it's in the description, it tells you how to subscribe, then you will find out first. If you want to know what sorts of things are in my newsletter, if you go to my website where on the newsletter sign up page, there's a few paragraphs of text, and within there's a link to my archive newsletters on my website, so you can go and have a little read of a few if you wish, and see what they're like first before you sign up. I know it's a big commitment signing up to a newsletter and having more stuff in your inbox, you know, and more things to deal with, so I quite understand if you would like to check first. We're going for a slightly different yellow. This is the light yellow glaze, and I'm going to put a bit of this on. So yeah, so that's worth having a little look at. I'm just trying to think. Actually, I'm trying to think now. My newsletter would have already gone out by the time this video comes out. So you may have to go to my archive newsletters to find out what's going on. Or I probably would have announced it in my socials. I'm sorry, I misled you there. Trying to keep up with my schedule, really. You see how it's a bit lighter in the middle? I'm hoping that makes it look a little bit like it's darker here and lower here and higher up here. But now I think we need to do something with these. And I'm thinking I might just grab, this green that we used before, the grass green, and just go around the edges of these a little bit, like there's some shadow under them. I don't know how well it will show up with all those layers of yellow underneath, but I'll give it a go. I've just come back from town, actually. I was buying some bits and pieces. Took the children with me, trying to I was talking to them about my channel, actually, saying, you know, got any ideas? What can I do that's a bit different? And my one son said, have a look at some Discord servers. So I've got a Discord account, which is like it's sort of like a, oops, I don't know what it's like really. It's a social media, sorry for all the scraping noise. It's a social media thing. I'm going to use the red violet for the edges of the petals. It's a bit different. I can't get you to see. I can't get it to show up. I don't normally use this for petals, so I thought it would be a bit different. And I'm going to do more here and then less like that, and there'll be another colour, or maybe two. I haven't decided yet. So yes, I will have a look at the Discord and see if there's anything colouring related on there. I've got no idea. I'm just trying to expand my audience, really, you know, try and find more people to look at my channel, you know, spread the word of colouring, get people interested in it, that sort of thing. I think, you know, it's a thing that a lot of people have now heard of, which is good as an adult colouring. I mean, obviously everyone knows what colouring is, but there is still, you know, to start with, people just thought it was something for children. People are now beginning to realise that, you know, adults can do it too, and there are specific books for adults, of course, as you know, and downloads like this one, which really aren't designed for children. So it's just trying to, you know, let people know that there are videos out there they can watch, that adult colouring is still on trend, because it was very trendy. It was quite interesting actually. I went into a bookshop which used to have a huge display of colouring books. I went in there. We don't have one in our town. We only have an independent bookshop, which is nice, of course. I went into a branch in a local town, as I happened to be there, to look at their colouring books, and they had one shelf. And I was just like, wow, they used to have so many, and now they've just got one shelf worth. And they always had a lot of Millie Marotta. They had a few Johanna Basford. They used to do, when her first book came out, they had exclusive items of hers. They had a tote bag and a pencil case and some candles, Secret Garden themed, which were exclusive to Johanna Basford. So they really got on board with it. But they really reduced their selection, which is a shame. It means that I think that less people are on board. I think when it first came out, everyone tried it, and then obviously it wasn't, some people didn't like it, and that's absolutely fine. You don't, you know, not everyone's going to like it, but I think there might be a new sort of audience that haven't found it yet, or people that did it a bit and then sort of stopped and need to sort of rediscover, you know, the joy. So I'm hoping that I can sort of reach out to a few more people, which will be nice. And actually you can help me if you share links to my videos or my Facebook posts, or my any social media posts really, you know, and that sort of thing. I mean, I do things like buy colouring books for people that I know that I think might like them. Now, not everyone's going to, you know, but you never know. Some people might benefit. So there's that as well. Things you can do, as I think it's something that so many people can benefit from. I mean, my husband has even got a few colouring books, although he hasn't coloured in any of them. He's got Johanna Basford's How to Draw Inky Wonderlands, and her other 30 Days of Creativity, and he's got her Wonderlands book actually, which is lovely. It's her, when she had her art exhibition when she graduated, I think it was, she brought out an accompanying book. And just looking for my next colour, and I'm trying to find what I want. There it is, light red violet, that's what I'm looking for. Now I'm going to go over what I've done and just extend the colour up towards the tips of the petals. Yes, so she brought out, it was almost like a sort of catalogue type thing with all her pieces in. Now I was lucky enough, there were very few sold, and then very few available for sale is what I mean. And I was lucky enough to hear about it before Johanna got really famous, or well known, whatever word you want to use. And I managed to contact the gallery, because it was the gallery that was selling them, and I got a copy, and I've done a flip through. So it's nice to go and have a little look at that actually. I could I'll put a link actually, hang on, I'll write it down. I'll put it in the, what I'll do is I'll put it at the end of the video. So right at the end it comes up with some cards, YouTube call it, with recommendations of things that you look at. You can go to my channel, or you can go to a playlist, but I'll put it as the recommended video. So after this video you can wait to the end and then click on it, and you can go and see the flip through. I did it quite a long time ago, so it's a sort of, you know, old video, but that's okay. I don't know if there's any sound either. I don't know if I speak. I can't remember. I didn't always used to speak when I did flip throughs. It's such a long time ago. I remember the day I put it up, actually. I scheduled it, I put it up, and I was going to my father-in-law's for lunch, and I was watching it, and I was getting, it was really popular compared to my other videos, and it had 100 views within a few hours, and I was so excited that I'd got all these views on this video, when loads more than I would normally get, and it was really cool. I remember being so excited and sort of telling him about it. I've got 100 views. Now I get more, which is lovely, and I'm very grateful, but it was just so exciting. And yeah, it's a really interesting video, I think, just to see what sorts of things she did. You may have seen it, of course. She coloured on a shower curtain, I think a bath, a dog, people as well. She had mannequins. You may have seen her mannequins because I think one of them is featured in some of her videos as well. And all sorts of things. And pictures of cuckoo clocks, I think. And some of them are interesting because the artwork is quite familiar to stuff that she's put into Secret Garden, so that's interesting. But yes, do, after you've gone to have a look at Agotapop's Etsy shop, and you can go and have a look at the Johanna Basford flip through video. So even if you don't buy from Agotapop, pop into Etsy and just like her shop or follow her shop. I can't remember how you do it in Etsy. It just gives her a little boost. And what I actually need to do is go and write some reviews. But I don't know if I can review these because she sends them to me. I don't buy them. She sends them to me for free. Whether I am allowed to review them, because I think it might only be customers that are allowed to leave reviews. So I don't know. I probably can't. Right, on the tips I'm going to use a different colour. I quite like a paler colour, something bright. Polychromos is not very good for bright and pale. We've either really got the light magenta or the, what's that called? The Pink Madder Lake. But I think I'm going to go for the magenta. I think it matches better with these pinks. And I'm just going to go over the top of each flower again with this one, like that. And hopefully you can still see that it's more intense down here. Building up the layers a bit like that, and I'm just going to work through, and then we can do the stem and the leaves at the bottom. Now pink isn't really a very autumnal colour. Normally if I was doing a real proper autumn theme picture, which I'm trying to make this look a bit summery because I'm in the mood for summery, so which probably isn't what I should be doing, but anyway, I would do oranges or yellows, you know, maybe a brown centre with a yellow petals, or a yellow centre with orange petals, something like that. It's nice and autumnal, even a lovely orangey red, like your poppy red in your Prismacolors, or your sort of scarlets in your Polychromos, something like that. You know, those are good. And different oranges, not necessarily always your bright orange, but maybe your sort of almost a terracotta or cinnamons, those sorts of shades as well. They're quite nice. And of course the same for the leaves in the picture. I would never do a leaf on a flower in a autumnal colour. I've never seen that. I suppose they do go brown, but that's usually because they're dead. I don't like colouring dead leaves. Not really. I mean, it's realistic, but it's not very pretty, is it? So I usually always do leaves green when I'm colouring florals, but you don't have to. It's a bit out of my comfort zone. I've done them in blue before, you know, really different colours, but as I say, it is a bit out of my comfort zone. It's not quite what I feel comfortable with colouring. But there we go. yeah, I'm trying to think what date it will be when this comes out, whether it still will be, yes, because I think it might be just the beginning of September, but I'm just not sure. I'm trying to remember. My brain isn't working. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. So I think that's all of them done. Now you can layer and layer and layer as much as you like, but I rather like the fact that it does look a bit darker here, a bit lighter here. It looks like it's dipped in a little bit around the centre, which is what I rather like. You can overemphasize that a lot by using even darker colours. A bit of black, a bit of sepia, and probably Payne's grey might be the best. I'm just going to show you. The Payne's grey I think will go best with the pinky tones. It's getting small, my Payne's grey. And just popping a little bit in here now. I'm running out of tooth on my paper, I think. I'm just going to run it around the edge actually and create a little shadow. Bearing in mind that between some of the petals there is a gap, which I've left white. Oh, sorry, I'm concentrating. I can usually talk and concentrate, but apparently not today. Get my tumble dryer going downstairs. I don't know if it's finished or not. It's exciting, isn't it? You just want to know about my tumble dryer. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I think that gives us even more depth. The bottom down here is a bit faint. Maybe it's just because of the light. Now the stems. Now we've used a few colours in the centre, greens, and I think I might use some of these for the stem as well. So this is our grass green, and I think I might start with that one in a layer. Let's not take you out of shot. There we go. So just pop a bit all over as my start. So I think I'm going to use this as my lightest colour rather than my darkest. So in the centre of the flower is the darkest colour, but we'll add some darker colours onto these pretty little leaves. I do like the way they're drawn. My stomach is going gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. I hope you can't hear it. It's so loud. Right. I'm going to grab the leaf green. It's the sort of darker version really, I think. It's works very well. So for the stem I'm thinking here, I want it darker at the top and then on the edges. And bring that in a little bit. So hopefully that begins to look a bit more spherical. We'll be going back to the other pencil in a minute. And here, where it's near the stem, I think it will be lightish. And here. And like this. So the same on each one, just a little bit darker on each tip and each base. There we go. And then back to our grass green. Let's get the right colour. Into this middle part first, going over the top of what I've done and just putting the colour in a little bit. And then just going there, so just bring it in. I might go a bit lighter actually in the very centre, because I feel like it needs a bit of tidying up. Yours might be fine. But I don't want to go too dark. And then the light green. Like that. I'm just going to look at, oh, it's a bit messy, isn't it? I'm going to use a blender. Have I got one? What's that? That's the Caran d'Ache one. I'll try that because it's clean. I can't see very well. I think that's part of my problem. The light is shining off the pencil. It's because I've had to shut my blind because it's very sunny. I thought it was supposed to be wet today, but it's not. It's sunny. I'm just going over all of it and hoping that it's working, but I can't see it. Yeah, that's better. There we go. You don't have to do the blending. It's completely up to you. But there we are. So I'm going to leave that there. Yeah, I think it looks fairly dahlia-ish, maybe. I was talking to my neighbour just now and she was watering her dahlias. Beautiful. They weren't this colour though. They were a lovely peachy colour, but slightly dark peach, slightly orangey pinky, but oh, lovely. Anyway, that's me. So yes, as I say, look in the description and you'll find the link to these in Agotapop's shop, and there's a 10% discount code if you follow my link, but also at the very end of the video it will come up with a video link to Wonderland's flip through so you can look at that. What I would do is pause the video just as I finish, and then the link, when the link comes up, just pause it and it'll be there for you. Then look in the description, follow the link, look at Agotapop's shop and come back and watch the next video. It's probably the best thing to do. And unfortunately Wonderland's is out of stock everywhere, so the only way you get to see it is in my video or anyone else's. I think other people have done flip throughs as well, but unfortunately it's no longer for sale. But it's not a colouring book, so there is that. But thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you have a super day and happy colouring.